Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here, and welcome to the day after discussion of the Oilers' 4-3 shootout loss to the Dallas Stars. The Oilers once again having a third period multi-goal lead, getting absolutely blown. That has been the story of the season, not always in the third period, but just multi-goal leads in general. In 6 of Edmonton's 9 losses this season, they have had a multi-goal lead in those games. So a team that is trying to play very, very defensively, very, very conservatively, for some reason can't hang on to leads. Part of it is coaching. Part of it is defensive play. Part of it is goaltending. So there's a lot to talk about here. I know a lot of the fans, they like to point their finger at like one specific player. There's a section of the fans that likes to point their finger at Bouchard. There's a section of the fans that likes to point their finger at Darnell Nurse. There's a section of the fan that likes to point their finger at Stuart Skinner. And there's a section of the fan base that likes to point their finger at Kris Knoblauch. And then there are sections of the fans that understand that it is kind of a combination of everything that I just mentioned. Kris Knoblauch's coaching style this season, he has changed something fundamentally with the way this team plays. We can all see it. We all acknowledge that this team plays much differently this season than they did last year, at least in terms of their offense. This team is not generating a lot of chances. They have a lot of offensive zone time, but they're not doing anything with it. It's a lot of skate into the offensive zone, button hook at the half wall, play it back to your blue line, and then having the defenseman take a low danger shot and try and get a tip or a rebound. Rinse and repeat. That's all we've been seeing all season long. And that's not really a great way to generate offense in today's NHL. The best way to generate offense is attacking off the rush and working the cycle down low to in front of the net, crashing that blue paint. Those are the two most effective ways of generating offense, at least 5-on-5. Power plays, that's obviously a totally different story. So, in today's day after discussion, as usual, I'm going to be talking about some of the standouts from the game last night. I'm going to be talking about some of the not so standouts. So, players who I thought had good games, players who I thought had not so good games. And then I'm going to talk about the team as a whole, where they're at 15 games into the season, how they compare to last year's group, and where they currently are, and some of the reasons why I think this team is struggling, and kind of pinpoint a couple areas that if they get improvement in those areas, the team should be fine. But right now, my biggest concern is the coaching of the team. I've had a few people reach out to me because I said if this team is sitting around 500 by New Year's, that they should consider firing Kris Knoblauch. I am not moving from that thought process. This is supposed to be a Stanley Cup contending team. If you are barely sitting at 500 and maybe not even in a playoff or wild card spot by the time New Year's hits, that is a large enough sample to show that either there is a major flaw on the roster or there is something going on with the coaching here. And for me, it's Kris Knoblauch. He doesn't play his kids enough, has no trust in the younger players. He plays Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl far, far too much. And then you see in overtime last night against Dallas how incredibly exhausted those two players were. And the accountability factor that's starting to come in this season. There's a lot of talk about the accountability, right? After Darnell Nurse was benched for half a period against the Utah Mammoth, the media started running with this narrative that, accountability, right? If Darnell Nurse is getting benched, there's accountability now. Well, the next game, Evan Bouchard played maybe one of the worst games we've ever seen him play in an Oiler uniform, and he got regular shifts every single time. Leon Draisaitl, bad game, 10 giveaways. He gets regular shifts. Connor McDavid, million giveaways. He gets regular shifts. Ike Howard, 1 giveaway. He gets to ride the pine. He doesn't get to play anymore. Matthew Savoy, 1 giveaway or 1 bad play. He rides the pine. There is no consistency with where the punishment is coming from, where the accountability is coming from, and I think it's affecting the group overall. But we will talk about all of this. Like I said, if you enjoy the video, hit the like button. Today is a very chilled video, so grab a snack, grab a drink, just relax. We're not doing a freak out video today. This is just us talking, going over some of the numbers, going over some of the analytics, and then discussing some of the tactics and why I think Kris Knoblauch is becoming a problem and is a problem for the group right now. Am I saying Kris Knoblauch needs to be fired right this instance? No. But something has to change, and he has to figure that out on his own. If he can't figure it out, there's going to be big problems this season. So moving into the standouts and not so standouts, the day after from last night's game against the Dallas Stars. Last night, the Oilers at even strength had a 38.87 expected goals for percentage. That's not very good. High danger chances for percentage, 16.67%. The Oilers were out danger chanced 20-4 on natural stat trick. In all situations, the high danger chances were 20-4 in favor of the Dallas Stars. That is horrifying. That is abysmal. And that is not a way to win hockey games. I don't care if you had a lead. It's very obvious that they were not generating chances, and Dallas was. It was only a matter of time before that dam was going to break, and the Dallas Stars eventually did break through. Their Corsi for percentage, 44.64%, not good. Power play was 1 for 3. That's respectable. Penalty kill, 3 for 4. That is also respectable. Now, my 3 standouts for the Edmonton Oilers. My first standout is Matthew Savoie. He did not end up on the score sheet, but when he was given his limited ice time, he only played 11 minutes last night for some reason. He did not generate a point, but he had the highest expected goals for percentage of the whole team, 90.52%. He was very rarely ever caught in the defensive zone. When he was on the ice, the Oilers were doing good things. This is why I get discouraged when the younger players on this team play well, because they aren't rewarded with the ice time. And it is incredibly frustrating as a fan, knowing that Matthew Savoie has what it takes. We're just not seeing it because, 1, he hasn't produced, and 2, he's not giving the opportunity to produce. I see a lot of similarities in how Savoie is being managed as I do with how Dylan Holloway was managed before he left and signed that offer sheet with St. Louis. I don't want to see a similar situation here. Kris Knoblauch needs to learn how to trust his youth and his young players because as soon as Janmark comes back into the lineup, we know Ike Howard is probably going to be the guy that goes down, and then Matthew Savoie's ice time will be even lower when that happens. So I would like to see Matthew Savoie be given a few more opportunities, at least with Draisaitl or McDavid. Now, I don't mind Mangiapane in the top 6, but I think Matthew Savoie could be effective if he was given a chance, if he was given a bit of a leash there. Another standout for me, in my opinion, last night, a good bounce-back game from Evan Bouchard. Evan Bouchard, we all know the struggles he's had this season. I would say he's been very good in about 50% of the games the Oilers have played. He has not been very good in probably 25% of the games, and he has been downright abysmal in the other 25%. So for Evan Bouchard, it was a good step in the positive direction last night. Once again, defensively, he was good. He had 1 assist as well, 63.95 expected goals for percentage. For Evan Bouchard, I liked his play at 5-on-5. I thought he did really good things with the puck. I thought he was moving the puck quicker. There was a giveaway in the first period at the offensive blue line where Robertson almost got in on a breakaway on him. But Bouchard, he made the initial mistake. However, he put the Jets on. He caught Robertson, did not allow Robertson a clean look on goal. That's what we're looking for from Bouch. I don't mind the mistakes, but what are you going to do when you make that mistake? Evan Bouchard put his head down and he went to work and he used anything that he had left in his tank to skate, catch Robertson, and prevent that shot. I liked that from Evan Bouchard. We need to see more of that. We see a lot of Bouchard giveaways and kind of floaty back checks. Last night was not the case. He was moving his feet. Real good sign. Hopefully that there is a chance that is going to continue. I have faith in Evan Bouchard. Historically, he does turn his season around, and last night was a good game from him, especially on the second half of a back-to-back. And then my next standout is Jack Roslovic. I thought Roslovic had a terrific game. He just seems to be getting better and better. He is now the net front presence on the power play. They took David Tomaszek off that net front. They gave it to Roslovic, and Roslovic's been all over it. He has a couple goals on the power play now. He had 2 assists last night. Roslovic has been terrific. The 1 assist that he had came at even strength. It was a nice individual effort, protected the puck on an odd man rush, centered it out in front, and then Vasily Podkolzin absolutely bashed the puck into the net as hard as he could. Great play from Roslovic. It was a good finish from Vasily Podkolzin, and Roslovic got an assist on Draisaitl's power play goal in the first period, where Draisaitl scored from literally an impossible angle, one of the only angles that I think he can score from, and no one else in the NHL can. So Roslovic, 2 assists, a 51.80 expected goals for percentage. Really, really happy with Roslovic's games over the past couple weeks here. He has really, really found a comfortable spot next to Leon and Podkolzin. That has been Edmonton's best line for several games in a row now. That top line for Edmonton, Nuge, McDavid, and then it's usually been Mangiapane. Not enough. There's not enough going on there. Need a lot more from them, in my opinion. Now, my not so standouts last night. A rare off night for the Walman and Nurse pairing. Walman, when he came back to the lineup, was paired with Darnell Nurse, and those two had been playing good. However, last night was not one of those nights. Walman was a -1. He had no points, a 31.88 expected goals for percentage, and that's just not going to get the job done. That is not good enough. Jake Walman, can't expect him to have a perfect night every night. That was Walman's probably first bad game of the season. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's going to rebound, but he was a not so standout, and so was Darnell Nurse. And I put a lot more of the blame on Nurse, actually, to be honest with you. Nurse had no points. He was a -1. He had a penalty, and the high danger chances when Darnell Nurse was on the ice were 11-1 in favor of the Dallas Stars. 11-1 high danger chances for the Dallas Stars when Darnell Nurse was on the ice. That is abysmal. That is nowhere near good enough. Darnell Nurse had made a horrible read on the second goal for the Stars. Jake Walman was in no man's land for the third goal for Dallas. And, I see a lot of fans. Yes, you want to save on one of those maybe. But again, when the defense is playing like they have in front of Stu or Picks, I can see the argument that it's not always the goalie's fault. Last night, in my opinion, was not on Stu at all. They lost in the shootout. Shootouts are just a glorified skills competition that means nothing to me. I don't like shootouts. I don't think shootouts are a reflection of individual player ability, right? It's 3 shots each. Whoever has the most goals after the 3 shots wins. It doesn't if you score 3 goals in the shootout, they don't count. You don't get a goal for it. Goalies, that doesn't count as a save in their stats. So that's why I look down on shootouts. I think they're lame. Would I have liked the win? Yes. But Stuart Skinner, he played more than good enough last night to get the win and help the team in front of him get the win. The Oilers did not play very well in front of Stu. Andrew Mangiapane, he had 1 assist last night, a 31.58 expected goals for percentage. Not a great night for Mangiapane. He got on the score sheet. He got an assist. Good for him. But his 5-on-5 play, much to be desired. Now, we are going to move on here and talk about what is going on with the Edmonton Oilers and why I think Kris Knoblauch is really hindering this team right now. The Edmonton Oilers this season, expected goals per 60 minutes, they rank 29th in the NHL. Scoring chances per 60 minutes, they rank 27th. High danger chances per 60 minutes, they rank 31st, almost dead last. And shot attempts per 60 minutes, 24th. They are a bottom 5 to bottom 7 team in every statistical category in expected goals per 60, scoring chances per 60, high danger chances per 60, and shot attempts per 60. Last season, the Edmonton Oilers team, still coached by Kris Knoblauch, expected goals per 60, they ranked second best in the NHL. Scoring chances per 60, they ranked third best. High danger chances per 60, they ranked second best, and shot attempts per 60, they ranked 6th best. There is a major change here in how this team is trying to generate offense compared from last year to this year. Last year, there was a lot more movement. There was a lot more trying to get the puck in the middle of the ice, a lot more slot shot attempts, a lot more working the puck down low and then cycling it out in front. This season, the eyes and the numbers are telling us that the Oilers skated into the offensive zone. They'll cycle it around the boards. They'll keep the perimeter. They'll take a low danger shot from the blue line. It's usually blocked and the puck comes back out to the neutral zone, or the goaltender sees it through traffic, easy save, whistle, whatever you want to call it. It is crazy to me that this is the same head coach. You usually do not see this type of variation in how a team plays with the same coach from year to year. I would have expected, especially with the loss of Hyman, obviously that's a big loss. Corey Perry, that's been a big loss. Connor Brown, that's a loss. I would have expected some of these numbers to dip, but not to the point where you go from a top 5 team in every major statistical category to a bottom 5 team in every major statistical category in just a few months, which makes me believe Kris Knoblauch has changed something about the fundamentals of how this team actually tries to generate offense. Also for the Oilers, a few more pieces of information I want to talk about. When the Oilers receive 900 plus save percentage this season, they have a record of 4-0-0. The Oilers have played 15 games this season, and they've only received a 900 save percentage or better in 4 of those games. And they are 4-0-0 in those games. So if anyone tries to tell you that goaltending is not a problem on this team, well, I can point to that. I think getting a 900 save percentage in only 4 of 15 games, that's about 20% of your games, that is not going to give you much room for error when it comes to the defensive side, right? That means that anytime you're making a mistake, you better hope the goalie can save it, and so far they haven't been able to. Calvin Pickard is more of the issue, in my opinion, than Stu, but they both have their problems. Stu, long-term, I don't have a lot of faith in. He is at least doing his best right now. It's just not good enough. That's the problem. They're just not good enough. The Oilers have had a multi-goal lead in 6 of their 9 losses this season. That is another stat that is absolutely mind-blowing. The Oilers as a team used to be, if they got a lead, it was very difficult to take it from them. Right now, the Oilers they get a lead, and I don't know if it's just a sit-back mentality. I don't know if it's just a bore your opponent to death mentality. I don't know what it is. But the Oilers are not holding on to leads the way that they've used to in the past. The last couple of games are interesting. Because if you break down the shots on goal in the third period versus St. Louis and against the Dallas Stars, they gave up 9 shots on goal combined in the third period versus the Blues and the Stars, and they gave up 3 goals or 4 goals. That's bad. That's really bad because it shows that the goalies they're on their game. The Oilers are locking things down in the third period for the most part. If you're giving up 5 shots in the third or 9 or whatever the case is, last night they only gave up 5 shots against in the third. Against St. Louis, they gave up 4. And they gave up 3 goals against on those 9 shots. So defensively in the third period, it seems like the Oilers are doing a good job of preventing a lot of looks. They're doing a good job of preventing those like crazy pushes that you see from teams when they're behind. They're just not getting saves in the third. It's not good right now. And then Kris Knoblauch, to me, has fundamentally changed how this team plays hockey, the system, and it is killing the offensive creativity of the group. This team looks slow. They are boring to watch on a night-to-night basis. I made a point of it the other night during the Blues game. I opened up and I said, I find myself during Oilers games this season scrolling on my phone while also watching the games because the games are not holding my full attention because of how boring they are to watch. There's no excitement in these games. Part of that is it's November. Now, we're about to hit a long winter here. The days are getting shorter. Obviously, the energy levels, like you can't play like it's a playoff game every single night. That's not what I'm asking the group to do. But I am asking this group to figure out what is going on. Why are they not generating as many chances? Why are they playing a slower paced game? Stan Bowman went out and filled holes with faster and skilled players. When you lose a guy like Corey Perry, whoever you fill in the lineup for Corey Perry should have foot speed. The Oilers added good foot speed to this group. Ike Howard is a very fast skater. Matthew Savoy is a very fast skater. Mangiapane's got some wheels. But the team looks slow. And they shouldn't look slow. They still have McDavid. They still have Draisaitl. They have Podkolzin, who's a good skater. I don't understand. Roslovic, he's a great skater. Now, obviously, guys like Trent Frederic, they haven't helped out at all this season. Trent Frederic has 1 point in 15 games. Trent Frederic is reminding me more and more every single day of Milan Lucic after he signed his deal with the Oilers. But in the difference of that is Lucic at least had a good first season with Edmonton, 27 goals, 50 points or whatever it was in his first season with the Oilers. For Trent Frederic's first season with Edmonton, this is abysmal hockey. He doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look fast. He looks disengaged. And yeah, he's throwing more hits now. I think he had 5 hits last night. He's throwing some hits, but they don't mean anything. The hits aren't meaning anything right now because the Oilers' offensive rhythm isn't there. He throws a hit, but nobody is supporting him to grab the puck, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he's throwing hits, but they're not really worthwhile hits. So I don't know what to say about this group. I think they have a lot that they need to figure out. And Kris Knoblauch, the fans aren't going to like to hear this from me. And I know a lot of you like him. I like Kris Knoblauch too. And I'm not putting the sole blame on Kris Knoblauch, but he would be, I wouldn't say he's officially on the hot seat, but that seat should start to feel pretty warm. You know, like when you're in a car and you turn the seat warmer on, and then that initial, you can start to feel the heat, and then you can like turn it up a couple notches. Right now it's on like level 1. So he's starting to feel the warmth on his seat. Right now it's cozy. That's a cozy feeling. You're like, you sit down, you're like, okay, yeah, it's cozy. We'll see how long it takes before I hit the next button that increases the heat, and then the next one, which increases the heat even more. We'll see how long Kris Knoblauch remains on the hot seat here. For now, he's on level 1. I'm going to have like a level meter in future videos. Right now, he's on level 1 hot seat, which is the lowest. That's the lowest hot seat other than like off, other than like there's no heat on his seat at all. Level 1 hot seat for Kris Knoblauch. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will see you all very, very soon. Tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers. I'll see you soon, Oil Country. Take care.